Nation of Fit in 10, it is day 30. We are officially into the 30s now, heading towards the halfway point, day 35, coming up this Friday. And I want to remind you guys that this is not the week, just like every other week, this is not the week that you are going to quit. This is not the week. You may have times where you slip up. There may be times where you unintentionally or perhaps intentionally fall off track. But the point is, you got to keep going, right? You've got to keep going. It's not hard to do something in the short term. It's always hard, especially if it's a if it's a major change to your lifestyle. It can be hard to keep it up over the long term. Now, that being said, if you can create habits, to the point at which you maintain them to the degree that you're not really thinking about it, you just do it. Perfect example for me personally, cardio. The more I maintain a regime of cardio, because I hate cardio, I don't enjoy it, I absolutely despise it, especially on the bike, the easier it becomes for me. But coming back to my point here, you've got to keep going. You've got to tell yourself that the only way that I'm going to succeed is to keep going. The only way you will surely lose is to quit. All right? So I want to encourage you to keep going. Motivation will come and go. Okay? So days where you feel like you're unmotivated, that's normal. And you're going to have days where you feel motivated. That's great. But the point is, you've got to kind of put yourself on autopilot and you got to just keep going. You got to not think about it. You just got to do it, right? Okay. This person writes, I've got like 10 to go and then I'm up to date. So moving along here, that is 10 entries. This person writes, I don't think I need help. Great. I do not weigh myself and I am wondering if anything is changing. Okay, this is prior to last week, obviously, before this person did their scan. This person did their scan late, by the way. Just need to push through till the upcoming body analysis. What I do find myself wondering, if by 7:30 or 8 p.m. I find myself short in some or all macros, do I head to the kitchen and top everything up? Or do I just leave it? All right, so I would suggest that if it's late at night and you're going to bed early and you're behind in your macros, I would not force anything in. If you are hungry, then by all means, have some of that food. I wouldn't try to, if you're way off, obviously don't try to force everything in. This is not the idea. This is not what I want you to do. I want you to get those numbers in, but it's not about, trying to stuff them all in by the end of the day. It's about gradually inputting them throughout the day, right? That's what I want here. So my suggestion is, if you are hungry, yes, have some, okay? Or finish it all. If you are not hungry, don't worry about it. Go to bed. But the next day, I want you to try to get those things in, because it will creep up on you. And what I tend to see with people is they don't get all their macros in. They think this is better because they get less calories. And then through time, I start to see, or not, or I just hear through the grapevine, that they'll add in foods that, they quote, shouldn't be having, okay? Because they're super hungry, all right? Because your cravings will go up. If you're following lower calories, your cravings are going to grow over time. And that's when you're going to really want to crave eating something that perhaps you shouldn't eat. Something that's highly palatable, that is highly processed, that gives you very little, good nutrient profile. That's what you're going to go towards. So I want you to make sure you get those calories in, right? You can do low calorie short term. You cannot do it long term, and it's not in your interest long term. Thank you for all your hard work. This program has way more value than I realized when I first signed up. Awesome. That's great to hear. I'm glad that you feel that way, and I hope more of you do. This person writes, need to plan food better, being more consistent with food measurements. You've been doing quite well. I mean, I've been checking your food journals. Was constipated during the whole week until start taking probiotic supplements. Do you suggest any other kind of supplements? Well, I suggest actually a couple things here. Okay, so some things that you want to take note of to help prevent constipation. Number one, drink more water. Okay, this includes electrolytes. This is going to help you. We need to keep a balance of water and electrolytes for proper hydration. And hydration matters for a whole host of things, including not being constipated, right? Being regular. Of course, we want to watch fiber intake. I'm not going to be super concerned with the types of fibers you have, but if you happen to take note, you do really want to watch your soluble fiber intake. This is, according to my own research, this is the type of fiber that you really, really want to take note of. But fibrous foods, which would include both soluble and insoluble, include, and this is not an exhaustive list by any means, avocados, berries, chia seeds, psyllium husk, oatmeal, apples, pears, virtually any kind of berries, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, etc. Eat prebiotic foods, all right? So prebiotics are basically foods that promote the growth of healthy bacteria in your intestinal tract. And some of these foods, which are actually high in fiber, would include, again, not an exhaustive list here, onions, bananas, apples, artichokes, asparagus, onions, leeks, I already said onions, cocoa, wheat, etc. Probiotic foods. Now, you mentioned that you take probiotics. This is really, really good. But things like kimchi and sauerkraut and Greek yogurt, kefir, these are all going to have some probiotic effects. So, and for those of you who aren't familiar with probiotics, these are basically, this is good bacteria, foods that contain good bacteria, or supplements that contain, quote, good bacteria for your intestinal tract. So we're adding good bacteria to the intestinal tract. Caffeinated coffee. All right, and I say in particular caffeinated coffee because decaffeinated coffee will help as well, believe it or not, because there is a bit of soluble fiber in coffee, or there tends to be. But if you have caffeinated, you're going to get better stimulation of the musculature. At least the muscles around the intestinal tract will contract a bit more, and this will help to induce a bowel movement. In terms of fiber supplementations, there's a really great one that I would recommend. I used to carry it, but the problem is I just didn't sell very much of it, so I don't carry it anymore. But I'm really thinking about doing it because I think it's a great supplement to have in general. This is something called Nutra Cleanse, and health food stores carry this in particular. And this product contains, if I remember correctly, it's got psyllium husk in there, it's got ground flaxseed, it's got burdock root, it's got dandelion root, and I think it's got fenugreek seed as well, okay? So that would be a really good supplement to take. Another supplement would be magnesium citrate, which is supposed to be helpful as well, okay? If you ever just want to induce diarrhea, there's probably many ways you can do it. Have a bunch of salt first thing in the morning, okay? I learned this the hard way. I was measuring out my salt incorrectly. I don't know what I was thinking. I was doing a tablespoon in the morning of salt, and in my mind, I thought I was doing a teaspoon for some reason. Don't ask me why. And I did not pick up on this. And anyways, it will give you really good diet. I mean, you will just, clear out the pipes, so to speak, right? I don't recommend that, okay? All right, let's get to the message of the day on this week, where you are not going to quit. right? The week that you will not quit on this day 30. Reset, readjust, refocus as many times as you need to. Just don't quit. Reset, readjust, refocus. Do this as many times as you need to. All right? This may involve what you could consider mini failures or falling off the horse or the wagon or whatever you want to call it. Just don't quit. Just don't quit. You've got to keep going. That's where the magic lies in anything. Doesn't matter what you're working towards. It's all about the long term. It's all about doing all the small little stuff. Not doing anything major in the short term, just little things every day. Okay, that's where the magic lies. Okay, that's where perhaps you could say the challenge lies, right? Really, the challenge in what we're doing really lies. Nothing in this challenge is really hard to do per se, right? Like in and of itself, it's not hard to do, but it's just doing it every day, right? Positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself, and for the love of God, give some gratitude. And I'll talk to you all tomorrow as we head into the 30s. See you guys.